Tyler City Hall. Tell me, who are you? What's going on?
Jeffries, firefighter paramedic with the City of Manistee Fire Department.
And what is going on here? Looks like you got a fire.
All right. Right now, what you're looking at is the new fire safety education trailer that we are building for our fire prevention programs that we do with the K through 6 grades here in Manistee.
Okay.
Inside the back here, where you see on the stove,
Yeah.
what's going to end up being a mock fire. We're going to put a cooking pan over it to simulate a fire on a stove, and the kids will be able to slide a lid over top of it to put the fire out and try and teach them the correct way to do that.
All right, we're inside, and got a fire here. And
All right, so when we get this completed, there will be a pan around here, around the fire, and a lid laying on the table. So they would be able to pick the lid up off the stove and then put it down over the pan and walk away to keep the fire from spreading and moving around.
Now, what do we got here? We got a bed. What's that for?
Okay, so in the back room here is simulated to be like a bedroom where a child will be sleeping at. When the trailer's complete, we'll be able to put fog or smoke machine in here, smoke it up and set off a smoke alarm. The child will have to get out of bed, crawl around, check their door for heat. If the door is warm, they'll pack it with blankets to keep smoke from coming in, give them a little longer time. Where they'll then proceed to the window, open the window, and signal for help.
But they'd have to be told ahead of time maybe how to open the window, right?
Yep. That's all part of the program that we teach in the K through 6 programs now.
K through 6, all of Manistee City Schools, or what?
Yes, sir. We do Kennedy, Jefferson, and Madison.
Okay, good, very good. And when do you start that program?
They usually start that in October, and due to the in-depth program that we teach, it usually runs right through April before we get around to all the grades in the schools.
Well, hey, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, sir.
Well, we're almost ready to start.
It's not Tiger's one. It's ready to play too. I'm doing an application. That's a good one.
Yep. Manistee City Council meeting, March 20th, 2017, 7 p.m. is now called to order. Please stand. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, please take roll.
Councilmember Cooper?
Here.
Councilmember Beaton? Here. Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski?
Here.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Here.
Mayor Smith?
Here.
Councilmember Woodruff?
Here.
Councilmember Pontiac? Here. City Manager?
Here.
City Attorney?
Here.
DPW Director? Finance Director?
Here.
Planning and Zoning Administrator? Here. Public Safety Director?
Here.
And City Engineer?
Here.
Thank you. Public hearings, we have none. Citizens' comments on agenda-related items. Citizens can come forward and comment on agenda-related items. Please come forward, state your name and address, and limit your comment to 5 minutes.
Sean Taylor, 240 10th Street. Tonight on your agenda, you'll be presented with a package for the new police chief. I want to, as a citizen, for the last 10 or so years, we've been grooming a police officer for that same position. We've spent a lot of money on that. I think we're kind of jumping the gun of offering a package tonight when I think the qualifications of an officer that we already have employed should be given that job. It's no secret that that job he was being groomed for that position. So tonight, my councilman, Mr. Whitlow, I'd like you to table this along with the rest of you. I think there's more that could be discussed on this position. Thank you.
Dennis Terhorst, 63 Clay Street. 7 questions to consider before changing the ordinance referencing pilot. 1, wouldn't it be wise to require proof of need to reduce a pilot from 10%? 2, at what percentage of pilot do you think a developer would likely apply? If 4% rings his bell, can you imagine the melodious sound you'd hear at 1% or maybe 0? 3, if you're negotiating an application for pilot, why would you want to negotiate up rather than down? This is untenable when it comes to deal making, especially when you possess the position of strength. 4, once the first flexible pilot is established, doesn't it become a precedent at which further applications do not exceed? Why would a developer apply at a percentage higher than his predecessor? 5, if a 10% pilot generates $6,500 revenue for the city, would revenue from a 4% pilot even dig the city out of a snowstorm? 6, will you be able to look your constituents in the eye if you ask them to raise their taxes or reduce their services after passing a flexible pilot? They know their taxes aren't flexible. 7, would it be good to ask the city attorney's legal opinion on this wording change? Actually, these questions are moot, aren't they? You can have any development you want by eliminating a pilot restriction. Then, all you have to do, taxpayers, general fund, and future residents be damned, is just want a development bad enough. My suggestion, don't change anything, protect the city. Let developers solve their own budgetary issues. You have your own. After all, they have more money to work with than you do. Thank you.
Hello again, Bob Daniels, 59 Smith Street in the city. With the council's permission, I'm going to wear 3 different hats and still try and fit within my 5 minutes here tonight. First of all, I come before you as a resident, property owner, and taxpayer in the city of Manistee, encouraging your support for the change in the pilot. I have lived in many cities around the country and in fact several cities around the world. I have seen schemes similar to this but by different names work very successfully in many places, and I believe that the city of Manistee needs this in order to move forward. That's my personal opinion. Now for my second hat, I will put on the hat as the president of the board of the Manistee County Council on Aging and just offer my services. If you have any questions tonight during your discussions, I would be happy to try and answer from the Council on Aging's perspective. And thirdly, again, with your permission, Sarah Howard is the Executive Director of the Manistee County Council on Aging. She's responsible for the delivery of services to seniors throughout Manistee County for the day-to-day operation of the Senior Center. Sarah is attending a conference in Chicago that has been planned and paid for months, and our board felt it was better that she attend that. But she wanted to get her opinion on the record tonight. So I have a written statement from her that I would like to distribute to you, and if you wish, I will read it to you also. And Sarah writes, "Dear council members, I am writing to you because I'm at a conference this week and cannot be at this meeting. I have asked seniors to attend Monday's meeting so they can voice their own opinions or at least see how the city government works. I have been very quiet at the last several meetings because I really want the seniors of our community to express their feelings, and I try to empower them to speak for what they want and need. I see a lot of seniors who sit and listen but never speak their minds. I've had many thoughts about the Olsons project and am completely supportive of it. Yes, I know I'm the executive director of the Manistee County Council on Aging, but I had my own doubts in the beginning. I think everyone involved with this project has looked at it 100 ways to see how it could work. I consider myself to be a very conscientious person with a great love for older adults and someone who wants what is best for them. I have been so impressed that everyone at all levels of the city and county governments have been so encouraging for the senior center, and many of them see what possibilities are for the Olsons Corner. I have heard Mr. McKevin Kopis speak about the mistake that was made many years ago with Century Terrace in Harbor View. When the general population moved in as tenants, things definitely changed. I have visited a couple of seniors at Century Terrace, which is a smoke-free building, but both seniors I visited smoked in their apartments. It seems to me that the entire building has quite a few problems. It seems to me that one of the problems at Century Terrace is not just the tenants, but maybe the management. When I heard Mr. McKevin Kopis mention that their tenants are usually people with very low to no income, I realized that that is not necessarily the seniors who are interested in the Third Coast Development Apartments. The 61 seniors who are on the list are seniors who have worked, owned their homes, raised their children, and were part of a community. The seniors are offended when they hear it said that the new project is low-income housing and that the community is not happy about this. These seniors may have fixed incomes with their Social Security and small pensions, but they are proud people who are interested in the same thing we all are: affordable, accessible, and safe housing where they can be a part of the community. I hope when you discuss and vote on a pilot change, you can look at the whole picture. There is so much more involved than just taxes. I too am a city taxpayer, but in the long run, I can see how changing the pilot to up to 10% could open many doors, making it easier to negotiate with businesses in the future, which in turn would help our whole community. When it comes to the project on the corner of US 31 and Memorial Drive, remember, seniors vote, seniors shop local, and seniors have made Manistee into the beautiful community that it is. Sincerely, Sarah Howard, Executive Director, Manistee County Council on Aging. Thank you.
I'm Paula Barton, and for right now, I live in Filer Township. I rent there, and I am one of the moderate, low-income people on the list to go to the new housing, and I'm very excited about it. But I'm also very excited about the opportunities that this brings to Manistee. I visited different housing complexes looking, Traverse City, Cadillac, looked at their different housing things. This is going to be something that could bring remarkable things to Manistee. And I can tell you from looking, there is no place that I can find that's suitable, secure-wise, other than a senior complex to live. And that's what I'm looking for, and a lot of these other people are too. We're not going to degrade the city, we'll bring more to it. The other thing that I want to point out to you is it's not only going to affect the housing, I want you to stop and think. I walk the streets here a lot because I walk and exercise. I did today. There isn't a place on Main Street right now in downtown Manistee where you can buy anything, like a toothbrush, paper towel, milk, anything like that. This new complex is going to have that. It would not only help the seniors, it would help the whole community in that area. When we lost Olson's, we lost a lot. And that's something that you need to think about. That corner lot is going to be sitting there vacant, or it could be beautified. And you could be assisting probably at least 60% of the population in Manistee are senior citizens, 55 and older. And I think that this is something that you need to take into consideration, along with the tax thing. I know that money is an object to the city, but how are you going to make money on an empty lot? I really think that you need to move forward with this, not just for the seniors, but for the whole community. You have at least 15 empty storefronts downtown Manistee. And that's not going to get any better. Because I'm telling you, I for one, and I don't know how many other people are, I'm looking outside of the community of Manistee because I'm tired of having my landlord raising my rent and getting nothing for it in return. I'm looking for senior housing. And this is an opportunity for that. But it's also an opportunity for growth in the senior center. I teach classes at the senior center, lead classes, and I don't have room to exercise. If we exercise, you can't set up for an activity. The senior center needs to be larger. That's where our community is growing, is in the senior section, and we really need to have that. Thank you very much.
Do we have any other speakers? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda. All items marked with an asterisk are on the consent agenda and considered by the city manager as routine matter. Prior to approval of the consent agenda, any member of council may have an item from the consent agenda removed and taken up during the regular portion of the meeting. Consent agenda items include approval of minutes, payroll, invoices, notification regarding the next work session, consideration of proclamation proclaiming April as Parkinson's Disease Awareness Month. At this time, council could take action to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski. I have a second by Councilmember Goodspeed. Is there any discussion? Please take roll.
Councilmember Cooper?
Yep.
Councilmember Beaton?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodruff?
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac? Yes. And Mayor Smith?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Unfinished business. Consideration of amending Chapter 1489, Low or Moderate Income Housing Ordinance. This item was tabled at the February 21, 2017 meeting of City Council. City Ordinance 1489 mandates the pilot must be equal to 10% of annual shelter rents. There is no mechanism for the city to accept a lower pilot. Ordinance language also restricts the pilot term to 35 years. City staff recommends that this ordinance be amended. At this time, council could take action to direct the city attorney to draft an ordinance amendment for chapter 1489 that changes the wording from an amount equal to 10% to an amount up to 10%, and change the 35th year to the 50th year for a reading at the April 4, 2017 council meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Councilmember Whitliff and a second by Councilmember Goodspeed. And is there any discussion?
Yes, I would like to make some comment. I understand there's a third option. And Mr. Saylor, please help me along if I start screwing this up, okay? There's a third option to just get rid of that ordinance. Get rid of ordinance 1489. And I can see a lot of positives in that. One of the positives is that we are now a redevelopment-ready community. By eliminating that ordinance, it opens the door for anybody who wants to come to us with any type of a project, and leaves it up to the city council and staff to make a decision on whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. Also, they would have to justify that it would be good for the community. We already have 3 pilots that I'm aware of. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the 3 pilots are all different. We do the same thing anyway. We look at a pilot and we pass ordinances or we make decisions based on that need at that time. This would just eliminate this ordinance, and I would like to make a motion to do that. I think it would be a great improvement to the way we do business in the city of Manistee.
So are you saying that they come to us saying this is what we want for a pilot and everything in?
But I can relate to what Elma, in my brief discussion with Mr. Taylor, would be. I believe you do have some sort of a fact sheet that you and Denise have been working on, or
That's correct.
that would list everything, and it would be an application. We would go over the application. Staff would then come with recommendations. And correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm understanding this wrong.
Right, and it's actually farther ranging than just pilots. It would be any other kind
Any
of...
other development.
Any other developments that are looking for some kind of a tax abatement from the city, other programs like NEZ, Oprah. It's just a good format to capture a lot of information so that staff and council can evaluate the requests.
And if we're going to be a community-ready development or a redevelopment-ready community, this is a good way to do that. This opens the door, allows us then to look at and invite anyone here who may have a factory they want to build, housing they want to build, some special project. It just opens the door. And I don't see where it's going to affect anything.
You know, I would like to thank Ed Bradford and the other people that were involved in responding to my question for previous pilots. But I'd like to give just a quick rundown because they've been mentioned. The Cherry Hill apartment pilot was initiated in 2001 and expired December 31st of 2016. That was a 15-year pilot. With that, we got 13% of the collective rents. But an interesting aspect to that pilot was that it also specified not less than $29,000 a year. That's not an insignificant amount of money compared to what we're talking about now. Reese Park Village came at about the same time, I think just shortly after that. That was in 2001. That runs through 2039. That's a very long-term pilot. That was a 10%, but not less than $24,137 a year. You know, we're still talking about a pretty good payment, more than $20,000 a year as a minimum. Manistee Place got a pilot in 2011. which expires in 2046, 35-year pilot. That also is at 10%, not less than pilot, with a $22,500 minimum payment, regardless of the collective rent. Plus, there was a $2,500 multiple services fee included with that, indexed to inflation, not to exceed a 3% additional charge per year over the term of the pilot. In each of those instances, we had differences in the language and the statute of the pilot. With Reeds Park, our pilot language, which allows the city to assume ownership at the end of the loan term, is reflected in that pilot, but not the other two pilot programs. And I think this is something, Mr. Taylor, that I brought to your attention. It actually had a provision there upon satisfying the terms of the loan, the city, for no additional cost, could attain ownership of the property. But therein, there's all kinds of differences in those projects. And I think the option that was suggested by Mr. Taylor to maybe just eliminate the ordinance itself and deal with these on an as they arrive basis and on a merit issue would make more sense. I would find difficulty. I mean, we're talking 10%, we're giving 90% of the taxes away to begin with, and the question I asked when we were having the work session was, can't we just make a pilot program that says we're willing to address pilots up to the amount of ad valorem taxes and leave the entire range open? And I know one of the responses I got was that's not typical, but it's not prohibited. It's certainly a possible thing to do. I mean, it's difficult for me to give 90% away before you even start negotiating. That's a big chunk of revenue. So that would be my input to it. There's a lot of variation. We can eliminate that variation, just deal with the developments as they arrive and score them on a rating sheet and make a decision based on individual merit.
How would we proceed if I wanted to make a motion to eliminate that ordinance?
I think the motion would be a motion to amend the current motion to reflect that you'd be directing the city attorney to draft an ordinance to repeal section 1489.
Well, I want to throw something out. I did like what you're in a motion. But another option I thought of, instead of having equal to 10%, why don't we do not less than 4%? So it could go over 10%, because I know there are pilots out there that are 12%. It's not unheard of. So instead of limiting under 10%, is to do not less than 4%, and then do 45 years. That's what the pilot's asking for right now, so I don't see why we need to do 50 years. So that's what I was thinking about.
I guess I want to leave the door open. I don't, if somebody came in and wanted to build a factory and they could demonstrate that they're going to hire 30 people and they're going to do things, I would want to have as much flexibility as I could to have that happen. And what I'm trying to do is, and I agree with you, it's kind of scary, but I think you depend a lot on council to make, and staff, to make appropriate decisions to protect our taxpayers. But I think when we say that we're a community that's redevelopment ready, we need to really say that we're redevelopment ready and open the door and get some interest here. Does that mean we have to accept every deal? Or they're going to accept every deal that we present? No. But it opens the door and it gives people an opportunity to at least explore what we have to offer.
Now, if we do end up doing the negotiable aspect of that, will it slow down the development process for the senior center?
It shouldn't. They would, as we talked, they would complete that form, get all their information, and we'd still bring back their proposal to council, and then it would be up to council to react to it.
Now, this action actually has no impact on
On the process.
on the development per se right now. It's simply addressing the fact that the ordinance that we've got for moderate and low-income housing pilot, if we repealed that, it would have no impact at all on the development moving forward. They already have a 10%, 35-year approved pilot.
Right, but they're coming back and
They're
they're gonna
coming
ask.
back, yeah.
So will it take for another reading at the council to have it in effect, is what I'm saying.
No matter if this ordinance 1489 is changed or not, a project that's proposed to council, like the Olson's proposal, would require council to adopt its own ordinance for that project. And so really the repeal of the ordinance would change the process that you're going to have to go through. It's still adopting an ordinance. And maybe it's not a codified ordinance like 1489 where it's part of our codified ordinances. It still would require the adoption of an independent ordinance for that project. So that answers your question.
So this, if it is done, it's not, it doesn't, there's no effect, negative effect or positive effect to the proposed project.
But what it does is it doesn't constrain council to, when it's going to adopt an ordinance for a particular project, you wouldn't be constrained with whatever the provisions were of Chapter 1489. You could essentially adopt an ordinance for a particular project according to whatever terms you desire, as long as they're consistent with what the statutes say.
See, that's part of the problem with this, is the statutes have changed over time to expand the term, and the common percentage has declined over time, so our ordinance had not kept up with that. If we don't have an ordinance and people simply come in as a developer and pose a product, then you've got a clean slate for negotiation and coming to terms for some sort of an agreement.
Well, I would like to amend that motion by what Mr. Saylor said.
I'll second it.
Well, I guess, how does staff feel about this?
I think it provides the same, actually even more flexibility than what I had suggested earlier. It provides a higher level of flexibility. So basically, the developer comes in and says, this is what I would like. And then he or she is going to have to convince council, and council will have to approve it. So it gives you even greater flexibility.
I agree with the majority of what everyone has said. It just actually gives them more flexibility to just eliminate the entire ordinance so that there's no restraint on it, whether it's up to 10% or up to 50 years. So in that case, since we have to look at them individually anyway, and it won't slow down the progress for the senior village, I don't see why we couldn't make an amend that first motion.
I made the motion, and I believe
To amend, to repeal the ordinance.
Section 1489.
Right.
Direct the city attorney to prepare an
So have
ordinance.
a motion?
that Aaron,
Yeah, I second it.
Okay, I've got a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski to amend, to repeal the ordinance, and a second by Councilmember. Yeah. I'm losing my mind here. Pontiac, yeah. I had the first name, not the last name, Aaron, I apologize.
Memory's the first one.
Is there any further discussion on the issue?
Just clarifying, this doesn't slow down anything working right now.
No.
Any other comments? Will you please take roll?
Councilmember Beaton?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodruff?
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski?
yes.
Councilmember Pontiac?
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper,
Yes.
and Mayor Smith.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. New business.
Mayor, now we need to vote on the amended motion.
Okay, now we do vote on the motion, okay, excuse me. So we have the amended motion.
It eliminates
Is
The
there
motion
any,
is to eliminate,
The motion just passed was a motion to amend the previous motion, and now we're voting on the amended motion, which is to direct the city attorney to draft an ordinance to repeal section 14.
thank you for that clarification.
okay,
Do you want me to make?
now do we need a motion on
No, the
that?
motion's already been made.
So we just need to vote, okay, will you please take roll?
Councilmember Pontiac,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodlip,
Yes.
Mayor Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski.
Yes,
Councilmember Beaton,
Yes.
and Councilmember Cooper.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. I try not to be confused again. Now we can go to new business? Okay. Thank you. Consideration of employment of Tim Kozel as city's new public safety director. Tim Kozel was identified as the top candidate for public safety director position by the interviewing panel. City manager has made a job offer and negotiated a wage and benefit package subject to council approval. At this time, council could take action to approve the city manager's appointment of Tim Kozel as the public safety director and the proposed wage and benefit package.
I'll make a
motion.
I'll make a motion. Or second it.
I just had a couple.
Second. Remember?
I have a couple comments. Nothing, this doesn't reflect on Tim whatsoever, but I would have liked to seen council invited to the interviews. I think that it would have been better for us to get an understanding of the position and the candidates. And then also, I'm just a little bit confused on why, and we did this with the DDA director too, is we hire them and then we get approval from city council. What would happen if we didn't approve it?
Well, then the candidate would not be employed with the city. We do, the second part of that, why do we do that? Why do we bring them here for the appointment? Because that's stipulated by charter.
Okay.
Yeah.
But shouldn't we do that the other way around though?
We're limited by the charter. So it's my job as city manager that I can take it up to the point, I can make a recommendation, do all the legwork on it, and then it has to come to council for final approval. That's stipulated by charter.
Okay. I just feel that like if we were to say no, then Tim and his family is kind of like, well, what happened?
Understand, and, you know, my only response to that is I would hope that you would have enough trust in the process and that would not be an issue. In terms of why I decided not to open it up to the public, because it's been in my experience that, you know, interviews are stressful enough, and then you throw in a lot of other people, especially council members, that even raises the level of stress. And so I found it more productive if you could ratchet down the stress level a little bit, you get a much better picture of that individual, because there's just a less amount of stress on it. So that's the decision I made, and why I made it.
Mayor Smith, I have a couple of questions. Who was on the personnel committee? I can't remember.
Councilman Whitlow, Councilman Goodspeed, and Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski.
Okay, did all of you agree with the wage and benefit package? Was it unanimous?
Did not vote, ma'am.
We did not vote.
Did not
Oh,
vote.
okay. Why?
Is the committee supposed to be looking over the package before?
That, we had a discussion about
We had a
that.
discussion about that also.
Because there's nothing, there's no bylaws, nothing that I could find of exactly what the personnel committee is supposed to do. And it's a committee that is appointed by the manager, and And so I just looked at some of historical information, and situations like this have been brought to the Personnel Committee, and we had a discussion on what that Personnel Committee should be moving forward.
So what is it?
We haven't come to that conclusion yet, because there's nothing, there's no bylaws or anything saying this is the absolutely what they do. I can just go back and look at how they've been used in the past.
The city charter, paragraph 5-6, does give the city manager the option to appoint a personnel committee, and there is no specific definition of what role that committee plays. It's kind of, if he wants to roll something off of them, like concerning personnel or some sort of personnel policy, he's got a group of people that he can talk with. It is made up of 3 council members of his choice. So.
It's a good sounding board for these matters, and we did have some good conversations, had some good
So
feedback.
you guys didn't meet though?
We did meet, yes, yeah.
And my making the motion was not based on what happened in the committee meeting. My motion was made on my research and my detail, or my extended research on him. Although I have never met him, I feel as though I've done enough research that I know him. I can give you an example of what he did do. A 61-year-old lady was challenges working at Walmart, or not Walmart, but at McDonald's, riding her bicycle to work every day. Somebody stole her bike. He was instrumental in getting that bike replaced. Community things that he does like that. The list goes on. His education, what he teached in university, it just goes on and on. He has an extended list of qualifications. And that, if it was any other way, I think you know me well enough that I would be saying that. But I did some extensive research. I don't have a life. I just do that kind of stuff.
You know, I would say, you know, everything has been done in accordance with the city charter. I asked Mr. Taylor to open the interview. He declined. It's his option. I did ask the question. I did feel I would have a better understanding of the candidates and eventually the person that was nominated, knowing that council approval is required for the nomination. I've listened to people that were part of the interview process. I've done some research. I've met him. I'm confident that he is, as I've been told, simply the best candidate that performed at the interviews and the right person for the job. He's got a long list of accomplishments and achievements, qualifications. Nobody set out to skirt anything. The city charter also, it says that city council sets compensation for the city employees. So, you know, we have information on the package and such. I've done some research. It's a competitive package. It's not overly generous. It fits within our budget structure. So.
Well, I had a question on the package. I know the truck that we were going to trade in had some issues. Has that been resolved? And is that truck going to last for him to be?
Oh, he's not using that truck. No, what we've come to an agreement on is that he would be using a city vehicle. It would be one of the police vehicles. We're a little bit limited now on the number of cars that we have, so we might have to limp along a little bit initially, but in the next budget year, we're looking at replacing, it's either 2 or 3, and I think it's 3 vehicles, police vehicles. And instead of trading all 3 in, we'll keep the best one back. So we'll have a good quality vehicle for the new director to drive.
The question I have is for Sailor. Now, everybody knows I'm married to the prettiest police officer in the city. Is this a conflict of interest?
No.
Okay.
Is there,
I have to.
okay, is there, you know, with the hiring, is there any details that you can share?
In terms of his background? Or
Background, why he was chosen?
Well, we, as my memo said, we interviewed 6 candidates. There were 2 internal and 4 external. The interview panel was myself, the public safety director in Muskegon, and the public safety director in, Dave, help me out. Who was Mike Olson, what department? Mike Olson?
Mike Olson is from Emmett Township.
Emmett
Director of
Township.
Public
He's a
Safety,
public-
Emmett Township, Michigan, down by Battle Creek.
He's the public safety director. So it was the 3 of us interviewing all the candidates. At the end of the day, Tim was the unanimous choice of all 3. And so we moved forward with that. We had Chief Bachman do a background investigation, and as Chief said, he came back with a crystal clear background. He has an extensive history in law enforcement. He was with the Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety for 23 years, and if you're familiar with Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety, it's a fully integrated, fully cross-trained organization. So consequently, he's a certified police officer, a firefighter, and he's also a medical first responder. In addition, after he initially retired from Kalamazoo, he worked for about a year with Spectrum Health in there as a security supervisor. And even before that, he was an adjunct professor at Grand Rapids Community College in their criminal justice program. One of the things that I was looking for in a candidate, because Chief Bachman has set the bar so high in terms of community involvement, community engagement. I saw those things in the chief. He's coached high school basketball. He's organized 5K races as fundraising events. He's involved in his church and other aspects of the community. So those things were very, very important to me, because for that for the next public safety director to be successful in this community, he's going to have to be involved, and he's going to have to be engaged. So I was very pleased to see that in his background. But he has a wealth of experience. Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety is a very large agency. He retired as a detective sergeant. He served as the commander of their SWAT team and as a sergeant, and it wasn't based on rank, it was based on leadership capabilities. So that speaks, in my mind, volumes to his leadership ability, and he's had a number of other positions within that department. So I'm very, very comfortable in recommending Kim Kozel as our next public safety director.
I'm glad to hear that. That's the kind of feedback I was hoping to hear from everybody who's also on the personnel committee. I did some research too. Apparently he's got a knack for solving cold cases, and I think we've got a couple here that I'd like to see him tackle. So I think that his benefit package, the wages seem fairly much in line, I think, for his position. And I'm glad to hear so many positive things about it. Thank you.
You know, I understand when we have a position like this opens, we're going to get a high level of people applying for the position, and it's going to be competitive. And it's always in the city's best interest to select the best candidate that the committee feels is going to meet that, but that does not diminish from the qualifications and the character of those who were not selected that applied. Hopefully there'll be opportunities in the future for everybody. But you know, I would like to say that I don't think we had anyone that interviewed that wasn't capable. We just had one that excelled.
Exactly.
So we have the motion from Mayor Pro Tem Zielinski and a second from Council Member Beaton. Do we have any further discussion? Will you please take roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitliff,
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper,
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac,
Yes.
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Councilmember Beaton,
Yes.
and Mayor Smith.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Consideration of a parcel split and combination, Jeff Gordon and ISO Grand Rapids Real Estate, for LLC. The request has been received by Jeff Gordon, owner of the building at 411 River Street, and ISO Grand Rapids Real Estate for LLC, owner of the parking lot to the east of 411 River Street for a parcel split and combination. The request will address an adverse possession encroachment claim as submitted with survey prepared by Norland and Associates Incorporated. File S17-002, corrected drafting effort dated February 2, 2017. The Planning Commission reviewed and recommended council's endorsement of this request. At this time, council could take action to approve the request from Jeff Gordon and ISO Grand Rapids Real Estate for LLC for a parcel split and combination request as submitted with application PC-2017-05.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski, a second by Councilmember Goodspeed. Is there any discussion?
How many inches are we talking about here? I'm just curious. I look at the picture and I'm trying to decide.
18 maybe?
18?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just, I just.
Anywhere in that realm. It could be a little over, it could be, you know, it's
Okay.
a little gray area.
Any other questions or comments? Would you please take roll?
Councilmember Goodspeed,
Yes.
Councilmember Whitliff,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Zelinski,
Yes.
Councilmember Beaton,
Yes.
Councilmember Pontiac,
Yes.
Councilmember Cooper,
Yeah.
and Mayor Smith.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Notices, communications, and announcements. We have a report from the Housing Commission. A regular part of each council meeting is a report from a cooperating agency, organization, or department. At this time, Mr. Clinton McKibben Corpus will report on the activities of the Manistee Housing Commission and respond to any question the council may have regarding those activities.
Good evening. First, I want to apologize for the 3 emails, formatting issues that I had. It was a bad bifocal and computer day getting that out. Also, I gave to the city clerk copies of pictures of the just completed renovation. I'll go back in a minute about how we're going to model upgrades at Harborview and over at Century Terrace. I just want to highlight a few things in the report. I had an opportunity to look it over. I want to highlight the basic eligibility requirements for public housing. Family household income has to be in the range of very low, 50% of area median income, and extremely low, 30% of AMI. They cannot be on any sex offender list anywhere. They have to go through our criminal background check and meet the standards that are set forth there. And at least one member of the household must be a citizen, national, or eligible non-citizen to be able to be granted eligibility. Beginning with the charts that I gave you guys, I just want to draw your attention under the first section, which is the household composition for all of our properties, that 51% of all the residents across all 214 units are age 55 and above, and 55% of those, of all the people in our properties, are disabled. As I mentioned the other night, economically, there's a $2.3 million contribution of income by residents who live here back into the community. That's the total gross amount of their income that comes in through various means that are broken down in the chart. Our average annual income across the properties is $11,614. So the residents who live with us, that is an average in general. In a little while, you see where I break it down by property. HUD, on the next page, on household economics, on page 6 of 20, we're required by HUD to accept eligible program applicants from either the very low or extremely low, as I mentioned. And the next page provides the detail of the AMI that we have to follow. It's one that is produced by HUD, and we have to go, anyone can get to it, but it's at a HUD user site. And that's the AMI that is calculated by HUD that all public housing authorities have to use. 2017 hasn't been updated yet, so we're still functioning on the AMI of 2017. I wanted to try to give you a simple breakdown how we calculate rent, because rent for public housing is not based on the unit, but based on the income of the person. So the simplistic form of it is that you take the annual adjusted income times 30% and divide that by 12. That equals the rent. Then you take the monthly rent and you minus any utility allowances that are coming to them, and that's the actual monthly rent. So hypothetically, someone receives $10,000 annually times 30%, that's a $250 rent. But they receive $75 in utility allowance for a particular unit they're being assigned, and so the rent is reduced down to $175. So I just want to give you a sense of how we figure out what an individual's rent will be. It's not based on the unit, family member size, or anything. It's actual total income of the adults in the household. I already mentioned page 7, the AMI that we need to follow. HUD says that our area median income for Manistee County is $51,000. So we use that for our standards of eligibility. Now some quick breakdowns about our individual properties. Beginning on page 8 is information about Century Terrace. 47% of our current residents in Century Terrace are age 55 and above, with the average age is 63 and a half. 64% of our current residents in Century Terrace, with an average age of 55, are disabled. We have 5 households in Century Terrace with children. And then I wondered for fun, did anybody get the right answer to what year did Congress create the Public Housing Act? Huh?
I said 32.
1937. That's the first time public housing came to be. The average income for our residents at Century Terrace is $9,499, with a total gross income coming into residents in the building of $1,025,868. Moving, some more information I have here about Century Terrace to bring to your attention. That all utilities are included in the rent at Century Terrace, so no one there receives a utility allowance. Thanks to Chief Bachman's help, we have security cameras that cover the main entrances, all the elevator corridors on each floor, the laundry room, the community room, and the sun porch. They came through a Little River Band of Ottawa Indian revenue sharing grant that Chief Bachman wrote for and encouraged and helped get going. And the police department has 24/7, 365 access to the cameras on live feed. Some technical issues we're trying to iron out at the moment, but most of them can get it on their cell phones at any time, and so it assists them in their work there. The average rent at Century Terrace is $202 a month. Okay, who took the next question? What's the answer to, I wear a special coat, a symbol of my training, and I can go anywhere in public to help my special friend. I don't need special permission or paperwork approval, and please don't call me a pet because I am a dog. It only can be a service dog. Moving on now to Harborview, a couple of things that highlight the demographics there. 83% of the residents are age 55 and above, and the average age is 65. 48% of the residents are disabled with an average age of 65, and we have 3 households with children. A fair housing question. A 70-year-old grandparent is appointed by the court to be the guardian of his 9-year-old granddaughter. Would it be a violation of the Fair Housing Act to evict his grandparent because he lives in a senior housing complex? What do y'all think?
Yes.
Yes, it would be a violation of fair housing. It's a court appointed, and the child is assigned, and you have to accept them. Now moving on to Harborview's income, the average income there is $13,847, with a total average income of, or total gross income of $636,960. That's due to it being a smaller building. We had 119 units at Century Terrace, 48 units at Harborview. So you get a difference there by the size. Some quick facts at Harborview. Residents pay for their own electricity. So for a 1-bedroom unit, $42 is taken off of the rent as utility allowance. For a 2-bedroom unit, $47 is taken off of the rent for a utility allowance. In 2016 at Harborview, we modernized the elevator mechanical portion. It doesn't look pretty because it's all the inside stuff, with a capital expenditure of $371,880. And we have just put out to bid and are in process of awarding air uptake handler replacement. The original is still there at Harborview, with an estimated capital expenditure of about $150,000. And the average rent at Harborview is $243. Higher income, so we have a higher average rent. All right, which of those animals can be a service animal? Again, a turtle, horse, goldfish, goat, tarantula, snake, duck. All of them. All of them can be, by reasonable accommodation, a service animal. And
How are you going to accommodate a horse?
I have been blessed, Housing Commission has been blessed not to have the requests. I've had colleagues have requests of pythons, tarantulas. The only thing we cut off on snakes would be venomous snakes aren't allowed. We had baby crocodiles I've heard about and stuff. As long as it can get verified and supported, and there's a form that is used, then we have to find a way to accommodate it. And with a service dog or an assistance animal, they can go anywhere with that person. Any common space in the building, elevators, stairwells, anywhere, because they're not a pet. Simple question is, when it's a pet, not a pet, when it's a service dog or an assistance animal. So they need that, for whatever reason, to be able to carry on major life functions. So they're allowed to take them. At the family sites, we have 28% of our current residents there are age 55, but a much lower average age of 32 and a half. And 43% of the current residents in our family sites are disabled, with an average age of 55 as disabled. And of course, we have a lot of children there. 28 current households have children. I'm sure you all have driven that area. Maybe you know what the addresses are for ARA. Then you remember what ARA is, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. If you haven't driven by 1703, 1703 and a half, and 1707, and 1707 and a half, those were built under the ARA grant, and they look absolutely different than the rest of the area in Palm Street. We were fortunate to get that money in to be able to build some new units there. The income average at the family sites is $14,349, and we have a total gross income there of $660,000. Some quick facts about the scatter sites, family sites. Residents of one-bedroom units have all their utilities included, so there's no utility allowance. Otherwise, other residents pay for their electricity, natural gas, and so they receive utility allowance, 2-bedroom 106, 3-bedroom 125, and a 4-bedroom 144. We're also regulated on water usage. And so they're allowed in a 2-bedroom to have 3,000 gallons a month, 3-bedroom 5,000, and a 4-bedroom 6,000. Otherwise, you could charge $10.59 as excess water usage over 1,000 gallons on a prorated basis. Why do we do all this and who figures it out? We have an energy performance contract that's between HUD and Siemens Corporation, and all utility-related issues such as utility allowances, water, sewer allowance, and additional resident utility consumptions are regulated by HUD and determined in accordance to the contract we have with HUD and Siemens. Now moving on to our waiting list. There were some questions brought up before about where people come from for us. As you can see, as of March 14th, our largest application list is from City of Manistee. But we're pretty well in the county of Manistee represented, and a few that are from outside of our county. It's not uncommon to get applicants from downstate. In fact, we have a not so new now, but a new resident who moved in, I think, from Arizona. So we take them as they come, as required by law. A couple things to keep in mind is the violation of the Fair Housing Act to determine one applicant preference over another simply because of their domestic location. So we used to be able to give preference if they lived in the city. And now it was determined that was a violation of fair housing, and no housing authority can do that. All applications that come into us are time-stamped down to the second. And it's quite often that we have to take them, what tenth of a second are you on the application to give the application the right order and line. We are able to give preference to veterans, those with steady income, such as Social Security, earned income, or a pension, and also to the homeless, which is a major push of HUD. Then on the next page, a couple things about the wait list management that we have in front of us. We had 51 applicants on March 14. 18% meet the senior housing designation, 22% meet the disabled, and there's 88% of the applicants are households with children. And that's been true historically. Probably one of the greatest needs in our community that isn't seen is there are a lot of households, many with low income earners, that aren't able to afford the rents in our community. And there's not enough rent subsidized units for this group and demographic. Then the average income on the waiting list, and this is all self-declared and not verified, is $3,300, and the average, or the total gross income is estimated at just about $300,000. And finally, a couple things to keep in mind to share with you about what we're doing. Who's responsible for bed bugs in a unit? Landlord. Private or public? It's the law. You're in charge of eradicating them. The landlord is treating it, taking care of getting rid of them. In 2016, we spent $8,733 on bed bug elimination. The expense covered canine inspection of the units. We did all the units at Century Terrace and Harborview. Individual unit professional inspection by a human inspector. Whenever we receive a phone call from one of our tenants that says they have bed bugs, we get a professional in that comes in and checks it out. And the only sure way to eliminate bed bugs, really, is the heat treatment. And it costs $985 per our unit to treat it. The family is out of their unit for about 8 hours, and they're able to get back in at the end of the day. But that's the only sure way of getting rid of them. And in 2016, we spent, in addition to the bed bug issue, $17,292 in pest control. And that's just Harborview and Century Terrace. That's on. And then I mentioned the other day, we spent locally in 2016, $170,667. So, and the last thing, just to call your attention, hopefully you got this handed to you, the upgrades, what we're doing at Harborview. Give you a real quick walkthrough here. And you take the first page, you're looking at a kitchen. Didn't have time to get an old kitchen picture to show you, but those are brand new wooden cabinets that we put in. We replaced a hood that only had light in it with a microwave. Changed the cabinetry around to have a full-size stove oven there instead of the apartment size that we used to have, and a full-size refrigerator. Now looking at the other angle of the kitchen, we put a brand new sink in, and along with the countertops. And the cabinetry is going to have the drawers that pull out. So, you know, people don't have to reach too far to get things out of the back of the cabinets. And the sink's got one of those arms that come out to spray. And new linoleum in the floor there. If you look out through the kitchen window there, a little open area, we went to a two-tone paint scheme. And in that little alcove, you can't really see it very well because the way the picture was taken, but we put in shelving racks there so people have a place to put family pictures or knickknacks and stuff like that. We put full carpeting in to the living room, dining room, and bedroom, brand new carpeting in there. And new lighting, as you can see in the dining room. We kind of upgraded the lighting in there. Another picture of the dining room as you move along, and then when you look at the next page after the dining room, that's the bedroom. We went to two-tone paint scheme there. We were going to eliminate that light. It looks like a hospital bed light, but we polled our people that live there, and they really like that. They like putting their bed there and having the light shine down so they can read and see things in bed, so we left that in there. But tried to upgrade the lighting so it's a bit brighter. And there's the other side of the two-tone paint there. New cabinetry and kitchen top, or countertop for the bathroom also. So we're going to be doing that with each of our units as they become vacant. And once we get at full occupancy in both buildings, then we're going to start rotating that around to all of our existing residents also. So, any questions I could answer?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a couple questions. What's the square footage of this unit that you have the pictures of?
It's just under 800.
Is it a two-bedroom?
No, it's a one-bedroom. Each building, Century Terrace and Harborview, each have 5 two-bedrooms in the building. The rest are one-bedrooms.
And you don't have central air, right?
No.
Okay. And what do you do about internet? What do people want internet?
We have at Century Terrace, the community room and the sun porch are hotspots for free. And the lower level corridor right there kind of spreads out into. And then we have a computer lab right off the sunroom, or not sunroom, the community room, rather than the ground level, Century Terrace. We investigated putting Wi-Fi throughout the building, but because it's cinder block, it's just too cost prohibitive to run Wi-Fi, so it goes that way. So people who want internet in their own unit, it comes through their subscription then to Charter. They're not called Charter anymore now, but Spectrum. Yeah. At Harborview, we have Wi-Fi in the community room. I think that's the only space that we have the Wi-Fi there, a hotspot.
So have you ever tried to negotiate with Charter? Well, it's not Spectrum, but have you ever tried to negotiate with them to get any lower rates? I mean, you get a concentration of residents there.
We actually have a bulk subscription contract that expires in February 2019. They have an escalator on their costs, and it now costs out of the operating budget to support that reduced local rate, because we've been trying to charge less to our residents. And we're not able to use public funds to pay for cable TV or cable access. So I have to bring to the commissioners very soon a serious cost upgrade. We're also looking, since we're so close to the end of this contract, of ways we can break the contract. We agreed to a 10-year contract because both buildings' wiring was outdated and wouldn't carry the new kind of cable access that was coming in. So they installed all the new cable without cost, other than this 10-year contract with an escalator of cost. So we spent almost $14,000 out of operating budget to support cable TV in Harborview and Century Terrace this past year. And we need to change that.
Yeah. Question, when packages come to either Harborview or to Century Terrace, where do they go? How do they get delivered?
There's entry guard system. Package delivery person would call for the person, and they buzz them and let them in. We're not allowed by HUD to receive packages and take the liability of those packages. We used to do that, but the world has changed. And there's medications that come, there's expensive equipment that comes, and so we're not allowed to do that anymore. So if they can't get it delivered, then the delivery service leaves a note and contact.
You mean the Postal Service does?
No, if it's FedEx, if it's UPS, you know how they leave things on your door. That's what they have to do with that.
Then how do the residents get their packages?
They need to contact the service provider.
What if they don't have cars?
I know where you're going,
Yeah,
Council, but
I'm just-
I'm limited
Yeah,
in what
I-
I'm allowed to do legally. I
I'm
can't
just
do
trying to
that.
see, okay?
I can't do anything about that. You know.
It's just something that I know is problematic for older people.
Yeah, and I agree. But the flip side of it is, if somebody, you receive their insulin supply on a Friday, and it came in, oftentimes UPS does, at 5 o'clock, and we can't get a hold of the person if they're not there, it's gonna sit until Monday. They may need it on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a
We-
problem.
Yeah, so we have limitations on what we can and can't do.
And you don't have anybody do you have anybody that stays in Century Terrace or Harborview full-time?
We just appointed a new resident manager at Harborview, Nancy Straczynski. Our first day is April 1. And we're still trying to get someone capable of being resident manager at Century Terrace, which is a whole different kind of number of units, the issues involved with that number of units. It takes a certain kind of person, and the applicants we received thus far, we're debating on the abilities, you know, to do that. We take those applicants only from residents of the public housing. So they actually qualify, and we look something else there.
Yeah, I have parents who live in a retirement place they've gone through all the stages, they're in dementia units right now. But one of the biggest problems, and I've watched them progress and watched what's happened to them, you know, getting themselves locked out was a common occurrence. So I wonder what happens when people lock themselves out of their apartments at Century Terrace. And
Well, we used to have the resident managers do the unlocks. And then we had a criminal case come up where someone who was a live-in aide, who was an aide to the person, claimed that they had permission to go in on a weekend, called our maintenance to come in to let them in, and that person stole medications from the resident, and the resident had not given permission for that. Which opened up a whole new legal liability issue for us. And it boils down to, we live in a different world, today.
Right.
And so now, resident managers are not regular staff. They're stipend public housing residents, which is a whole category under HUD. So we put it, a staff member has to do it. During the day, during regular hours, we go and do it, but now we've got to fill it out on the application. It gives us permission to go in, they're giving us permission to open the door, and we take a picture of them holding that application. Because we've had people deny that they gave permission to our staff to open the door for them. If it's after hours, we have to charge them the overtime fee for them to come in, our staff to come in. Because it's a cost that is not a usual operational cost for public housing. They have to do that. So we have to charge them after-hour rates.
Okay. I won't ask what those are, they're probably kind of costly.
You'll be United Steelworkers unions represents our maintenance team, so we have negotiated overtime rates.
Okay, that's all the questions I have.
Any other question? Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
This moves us to the concerns and comments. Citizen comment. This is an opportunity for citizens to comment on municipal services, activities, or areas of city involvement. Citizens in attendance shall be recognized by the mayor for comments limited to 5 minutes. Letters submitted to council will not be publicly read. Do we have any citizens that wish to make comment? Yes.
I'm Dale Priester. I live on 4th Street. I'm also the president of the board of the City of Manistee Housing Commission. One statistic that was left out of Clinton's report this evening, which I think is germane considering what else came up this evening, that the City of Manistee Housing Commission's payment in lieu of taxes to the city for 2016 was slightly in excess of $39,000.
Thank you. Are there any other citizens that wish to make comment? If not, we'll move to the next category of officials and staff. But before we get to officials and staff, I have 2 resolutions of thanks and appreciation to go tonight. And Chief is ladies first. So, Mary Ann Bachman. Where's Mary? Come up here, please.
Let's get around, Chip.
Whereas Mary Ann Bachman began her career with the City of Manistee Clerk's Office, March of 1999, as the Utilities and Accounts Receivable Clerk, and is currently serving as the Deputy Clerk, Accounts Payable. And whereas during that 18-year tenure, Mary Ann Bachman demonstrated outstanding capabilities in a position destined to take full advantage of Mary's special talents and experience. And whereas through hard work and dedication, Mary received her Certified Municipal Clerk and Master Municipal Clerk certifications. And whereas Mary Bachman worked quietly behind the scenes, fulfilling her responsibilities in a professional and confident manner, filling in for the clerk whenever needed. And whereas Mary Bachman was always and will remain a friend to the employees of the City of Manistee. And whereas Mary Ann Bachman has served the City of Manistee with pride and dedication since March 1999, completing 18 years of service to the community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on behalf of the City of Manistee City Council and the citizens of this community, we give thanks and appreciation to Mary Ann Bachman for her long and loyal service to the community and congratulate her upon her retirement as of March 31st, 2017. Further saith not this resolution. You want to hang back? Resolution of thanks and appreciation. David M.
I'm guessing it'll be on.
David. Whereas David Bachman began his career with the city of Manistee in March of 1998 as the police chief. And whereas David Bachman, through diligence and hard work, was promoted to the position of Public Safety Director as of March 15, 2011. And whereas David Bachman has worked as a leader in his departments and friend to the employees of the city of Manistee. And whereas David Bachman's leadership in the community through his active role in various service clubs and volunteer organizations, reflective of building the skate park, installing the night lock system in area schools and city hall, bringing the advanced life support transport service to the community, has always been motivated by a true heart of service and was exemplified by being named the Chamber's Business Person of the Year in 2003. And whereas, while as Public Safety Director, David Bachman demonstrated an infinite capacity to remain focused on the true purpose of public safety. That is, to protect and serve the best interest of the members of the community. And whereas David Bachman has served the city of Manistee with pride and dedication since March 23, 1998, completing 19 years of service to the community, now therefore be it resolved on behalf of the Manistee City Council and the citizens of this community, we give thanks and appreciation to David Bachman for his long and loyal service to this community and congratulate him on his retirement as of March 31st, 2017. Further saith not this resolution. What a wonderful occasion. Thank you, David and Mayor. Officials and staff. City Clerk.
Just want to thank Mary and Dave for all their years of service.
City Manager.
Just remind council that I'll be out of town Tuesday and Wednesday attending the MML Capital Conference. I'll be back in the office on Thursday, and as always, I'll be monitoring my email and phone, and if something of grave importance comes up, needs to be attended to right away, please get a hold of Chief Fox.
City Attorney.
Nothing in it.
City Engineer.
Just congratulations to Mary and Dave and their retirement.
City Finance Officer. Not here. Public Works Director is not here. Public Safety.
I thought we had enough, but it's hotter up here than it is back there, by the way. I had a country song and I had a little boom I was going to say when I got out the door here. But I will say that I've been blessed. I really have. The City Council has been supportive. Thank you for your support. Your past City Council, the citizens. No one could ask for a better staff, better people to work with. I've made great friends here and I'm happy to have fulfilled my duty. I think I'm done. Mission accomplished and I'm ready to move on. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Chief. City Council members, Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Mary and Dave also, and I also want to welcome our new Public Safety Director and his wife to Manistee.
Well, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Wow. That's the only words I said.
Welcome to our community, and Mary and Dave, thank you for everything that you've done. And Dave, you've been absolutely spot on. Every time I've had a question, I couldn't ask for a better officer.
Well, my turn.
Your turn.
I'm going to miss Dave and Mary, and an example of their dedication and what they can do in a community is right up front. It's going to help our children learn about how to save their lives, emergencies, fire. What a way to go. Much appreciated. Thanks.
Mr. Goodman.
Dave, you've been great. You helped me in many ways. One of the things like Katrina relief, I went to you, said, what do I do? And you raised a lot of money, bring a lot of food and a lot of stuff down there. It was your help, and I appreciate that. I do remember that. The skate park was a blast to build. And good luck. Mary, good luck, dude. How do you, is it Kozel? How do you pronounce it? Cole. Congratulations, welcome.
Just a thank you to David and Mary Bachman. They've been stalwarts in the community. They will be missed. Great resources, great people. I thank you for everything that you've done for me. Welcome to Tim. And Mayor, you missed Denise again.
Yeah? No? Okay.
I just want to thank Mary. So much fun to work with, and congratulations.
Okay.
I want to echo what was said up here. Congratulations, you guys have been great, Mary and Dave, and don't be a stranger. And I want to thank everybody that's come and voiced their opinion. It's great to see so many people here, and hope that you guys come back.
It is truly great to have the number of people in this meeting and the last meeting we had. It's nice to see people that are interested in coming and sharing their opinion and participating in the governing process. Dave and Mary, you're not going anywhere. I still see you. But thanks for everything. It's always nice to go down and see Mary's smiling face down in the clerk's office. Welcome, Tim. You know, we look forward to a new tenure and a new standard. You know, building on the past is wonderful. I would like to say that I know I spoke with Mr. Taylor. Wednesday at noon is the final board meeting for the West Shore Hospital crew in their current form. From that point forward, it will be the Munson Medical Center. I would encourage people to go and express their appreciation. I would like to ask council's permission to thank the current board members for their diligence and efforts over the years. I would offer my personal thanks, but if council's in concurrence, I would offer the appreciation of city council for the work that they've done as they go forward into a new organization. Been an important part of our community. And thanks for our new fire truck and training station out there. It looks good. It truly looks good.
I'd like to add on to your
Yeah.
West Shore. My 3-month-old was admitted to the hospital a couple weeks ago, and they were phenomenal. The staff, the nurses, and then he was transferred to DeVos for the ambulance, and they were wonderful. So I thank the board and everybody that runs that hospital. They were wonderful. I can't say it enough.
And with that, motion to adjourn.
I will make it.